Applying a custom design to a graph. So once you've decided on an icon or a picture to be placed in your chart and you've defined that, now we can go ahead and apply it. So typically these are going to be found in column charts, ones that we see right here. They just work the best. So how do we then apply this custom design? What we need to do is select the graph, and mine is selected. If I deselect out here, I'll just use my selection tool to make sure that my entire graph, all grouped objects, are now selected. I'm going to navigate to my object menu, down at the bottom to graph again. This time notice how column and marker are lit up. They're active now. So I am going to choose column. So here I have a none and a pencil. This is what I have previously defined. Here's my pencil. So now we have some options. We see that this is the image or the picture that will be placed in my graph, but I have 4 different options for how it's going to display this. Number 1, vertically scaled. So vertically scaled is probably going to be one of the top choices. It will resize this pencil, but only vertically. Okay, so visually might be a good solution. Depends on what your picture is that you're using. Uniformly scaled, this one actually resizes this graphic or this picture, which in my case is the pencil. It's going to resize it both vertically and horizontally. That means that for large amounts, my pencil's not only going to get tall, but it's going to get really fat. Maybe not quite what I want. Repeating is a really fun option. This one will assign a value to my pencil. Each design represents how many units, and so then it will repeat it, and so that I have a repeating pencil for each unit. Okay, and then you have an option here for fractions if you want to scale it or if you want to chop it. I'll tell you, design-wise, the better option is to chop it. And the last is a sliding feature, and this is stretched, but it's at a defined point, and so most likely everything below is going to remain uniform. So this, to be honest, probably your best choice, because I could choose a point somewhere in the middle, stretch it in that point, meaning that my top point of my pencil and the bottom eraser of my pencil will remain in proper proportion. It will look correct. Okay, now to apply this, I'm going to go to the object menu, navigate down to graph, and go to column. So in this file, I happen to have several different saved versions, and so let's just choose pencil number 2 here, click OK. So there's the vertically scaled. So you can see that it does stretch it to see where it will go. Let's try a different option here. And let's do uniformly scaled. See how the narrower and smaller pencil versus the wider and taller pencil. So the key here when you're doing graphs is to keep them proportional. You don't really want to have small versus thick, because obviously this makes the 2010 number seem even larger than maybe it really is. Let's try one more here. Let's go to graph and column one more time, and with the same one, let's do repeating. And we're going to have this represent 3. And for fractions, I'm going to chop the design. Click OK. So here you go. So each pencil is worth a unit of 3 number of students. And you can see how where there's a partial, it just chopped the design. If I didn't chop that, all of a sudden we'd have a short little pencil here. And again, it's kind of misleading when you do that because you're not really sure what that amount stands for. So different options, different ways that we can use our custom designs.